One Call of Duty podcast with a betting focus, taking you through all the matches and majors of the 2022 CDL season. My name, of course, is Scoot. I'm back with Chris. This is going to be, final predictions for the CDL season. Yeah, this is
the last major.
Not even major.
Yeah,
this is champs. This is the
grand.
This is the one. This is the match. And of course, if
one.
you've been paying attention at all, and I would assume so, granted that you're listening to this episode, a little emergency pod late in the weekend. The final is Faze Thieves at this point, and we know that.
There was no other. There was no other.
There were a couple of different outcome lines there. There was momentum building in the right directions.
Not really,
but you knew that. Once Faze doesn't win the upper bracket final and isn't guaranteed to be in finals, they're probably going to find a way anyway, which they did. That has been the story of their season so far, and now it's about flipping the script.
I mean, I picked it yesterday. If you were smart enough to listen yesterday, I had the exact rematch coming up. It didn't go the exact way I thought, and we'll talk about it, but I had Thieves Faze meeting up twice. The first one didn't disappoint, and I expect the grand final.
I mean, for Faze, this is literally just about flipping the script on the entire season. Like, it's been, you have the highest average placing. Yeah.
Another final.
You've
another final.
Locked in that you are the most consistent team in Vanguard, I would say. And maybe, at your peak, one of the best, obviously. But I don't think we've seen that Faze for a couple of majors now. And
they haven't won. They've been consistently the best, but they've never been the best, right? They haven't won a single thing yet.
Time to make a statement.
Their last chance.
1.2 mil on the line too, so that's no money to shy away from, especially when it's only split 4 ways.
This is the ultimate. What were those? The
bounty match. The ultimate bounty match.
This is the ultimate bounty match.
I have to agree with that statement. This is this one matters a little bit.
This is a little bit more than 10,000.
Slightly more than 10,000. It's maybe a factor of 30.
Yeah.
40.
No, it's like a factor of 100.
Sorry, I'm not. You're a fucking engineer.
100,000.
It's times 40. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's times 100. 10,000 to 100,000 is 10, and then 100,000 to
no.
million
I was talking
another
about
10, which is 100.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. In scope, it's the exact same. It's either it's a factor of 100.
Well, I guess in scope, I was talking about 10,000 as a team versus 40,000 or 400,000 individually. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. Probably get taxed because you're playing in California anyway. So goodbye to your winnings. But.
So it's a $10,000 got it.
Let's tear into it a little bit. OpTic Subliners, I think, kicked off the day. Actually, no, Surge Ultra. My apologies. Yeah, I flipped back and forth. Surge come out, fucking roll Ultra. Wasn't really close. And same thing kind of happens with OpTic in New York. We knew that Ultra was not really going to go any deeper than this, I think. Especially when,
Correct.
Well,
the writing was on the wall. I mean, you had Pred playing out of his mind, and we'll get to all of his playing. But Mack and the accuracy show up a little bit more. We knew that Surge, honestly, especially throughout the season, they had some ups and downs, but the Surge from the very first tournament have been around all season, and I would say very, very. Third place feels like a proper. Third or fourth was the proper fit.
I will
to finish this year. They were a quality team all season.
Into my brain a little bit headed into next year, but I think this team is due for some sort of regression if there is a higher skill gap. If we were playing a Cold War, I don't think they end up in this position. But I mean, listen, they had a great season. Props to them. Resulting in third place, they lose to Atlanta Faze in losers finals. We'll get to how we got there, but. They really weren't in that series at any point, honestly. I think Faze was in control. Faze knew they had to make another final, and they knew what they needed to get done, and they did it. It's the second time they beat them in this tournament. That's just consistency at that point, and that is what that team is known for. Hard to beat them.
Yep.
Ultra, I
think they'll be back next year. I think to what you're
I don't know.
About,
it depends on how the game plays, honestly. But their best opportunity to, get through to like an elimination round 3 area where they would be playing OpTic again would have been if Surge wasn't hot and Surge was hot. So that's just, you're not going to win that series.
Yeah.
Sorry, it didn't really add up the entire season. And then Texas 3-0 New York. I mean,
surprising. I know you're going to sit here and act like you knew it, but like,
it's not that listen.
Just to be incredibly clear, that was, I mean, by the way, good on you, New York, trying to fucking stall with a comms issue on Crimsix. Like, very, very savvy move there, but nothing was going to save you. New York just didn't show up to play that day. And honestly, it was funny. I was sitting there watching the match, and as I was looking at the teams, I was like,
dude, they got fucking smoked.
Like, clearly, OpTic's going to win this.
Like, that's when I was like, okay, they're starting to build momentum. They look good again. And it didn't really carry over into map 1 of the next series where they got pretty rolled by Surge, but at the same time, the rest of those maps were pretty much in OpTic's control the entire time. Obviously, they win the Search and Destroy pretty dominantly. Control, as we know, ended in like one of the craziest 2v2 endings of the entire season. OpTic has been pretty much involved in every crazy Control ending this entire year. Especially like the one against Faze where they were down 10 lives and they somehow made it happen on Gavutu. Stuff like that they've been
wild.
Pretty consistently able to perform in those moments, and unfortunately, stroke of bad luck, also a great play by Pred, results in them losing that round, which I think swings momentum a little bit, but they rebound in map 4, they look good off the start, and then they just kind of threw it away. Crowd was behind them the entire time. I thought they really had it in them to win that map 4, and if they go to map 5, I think that series is dusted. Like, OpTic wins. But props to Surge. They held it off. They did what they needed to do to get through, and then go down to Atlanta Faze. I think Faze would have had a lot more trouble facing OpTic, because I think they play into each other's strengths like a lot more at that point. So would have been more interesting, and it would have been if we got OpTic Texas LA Thieves final, I really wouldn't know what to think. I would know that there are certain hardpoint maps in there where Thieves is probably going to blow their shit up, but other than that, it would have been a very very fun series to watch. A lot of banter.
Well, I know what to tell you. They beat them 3-0 already. It would have been probably a clean 5-0.
Not even close.
I do think OpTic, as we covered it yesterday, the trajectory of this OpTic team was forever drastically shifted when you had iLLeY get injured, right? And so them finishing top 4 is probably, again, where they deserve based on the recent injuries and where they were as a team from a chemistry perspective and getting back into the swing of things. That team, it's unfortunate because if this was 2 months ago, when pre-iLLeY, they're in the final unquestionably. I think they're beating Faze, and they're playing probably LA Thieves. With that said, I think we just need to give a bit more respect to the LA Thieves. This team is
they're on fire,
frying, and they are by far playing the best COD at the most important time of the year. The way that they kind of, and I think we need to properly break down the Thieves Phase winners final before the champs.
There's not much to properly break down there, to be honest. They lose map 1.
Well, I think there is. Losing map 1 didn't. When you go back and watch that, it didn't even feel like they should have lost map 1. It felt like they were in control. Kenny at this point is just playing out of his goddamn mind, and this, to me, is the biggest surprise from this year. Is kind of Kenny's resurgence and his ability to just absolutely crucify people. Obviously, Berlin, I think Envoy said it after the game, which is like, big mistake. Don't let Berlin through. Especially twice. We're gonna fucking just roll on you, and they did. 3-0 in the control, and almost a 200 piece on him in the hard point. That's insanity. You're going to need Simp and aBeZy to play better. Right now, Cellium is a robot and a machine.
Arcitys is also playing very well.
Feels like I know he's the rock. No, I said this yesterday. Arcitys is kind of the rock that team needs, and what I think honestly allows Cellium to kind of pop off. But like, aBeZy and Simp are just getting fucking crushed every single time down the field. They're going into places, getting picked, and honestly, they're liabilities at this point. And you cannot have them play the way they did. If you're gonna think that if there's even a remote,
it's tough to call them liabilities. One, because like both were MVP candidates last year, and one of them won it. And honestly, the stats could have gone either way. You could say whatever you want about them in that regard. They're also in a grand final still. It doesn't really matter how you've played up to now. You can write your story in this final. And this is where moments are 100%. Made. We also know that like the more a team gets ahead in the final, the more they are likely to lay off the gas. And that is proven to be just a dangerous concept this entire year. Like if you step off the gas in Vanguard, you're probably going to get caught out, and it needs to be like
we've seen more reverse sweeps in this game.
It needs to be top to bottom, like very, very clean Call of Duty to get really anything done or to get a huge lead in any of these games. But I mean, if anybody's playing it, it's Thieves at the moment. Now, do I expect Simp to continue to be like not the craziest player on the map? I don't know. I think he'll definitely be top 3.
Dude went 6 for 22 on that last hard point.
What, against Thieves? Yeah, I mean they got fucking rolled. Yeah. Like that's gonna happen. Now, like I think they're gonna have trouble in hardpoint this series. It just hasn't been there. It's about winning your S&Ds and about how you adapt to this. If there's anybody that I think they should take notes from, it's probably Texas in terms of how they were playing things. But Thieves is also playing really good S&Ds, so it's very, very hard.
They're also playing great control. I mean, like their control is. And control's kind of like a swing map, right? It kind of allows for the reverse sweep. It's
in finals. It's like
it's a weird game
to win too. So
yeah, and so I mean, fuck. I mean, I guess looking at the lines, you've got Atlanta Faze as a 2.33 underdog.
Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising, to be honest, considering where we stand right now.
I agree. 1.56. Thieves favorite, and it's like I sit here today and it's just like when I went back and rewatched the Faze Thieves matchup, it could have been a 3-0. It just felt like it could have been.
But it wasn't. I mean, they hung on,
and,
you know.
And if you go back, it's just like even in the S&D, it's just like you have Cellium going through picking off people, but you had Octane over there sniping people, which was fucking hilarious. Like, it actually forced Arcitys to go and get a sniper for a round or two, just to try and even the playing field. But it just felt like between Envoy, Drazah, and Kenny, they're just playing so well as a team. They're switching out, they're getting their trades, and they're picking people. And even like Envoy does this like kamikaze thing, like to start like half the match, where he'll just run straight through the map, jump in, get one kill. He knows he's going to die, but it just like forces action in a way that I think Faze, who's trying to be a bit more methodical, like has to guard against, and it just shifts the entire mentality of the game. It's really fascinating.
Like for me, it's going to be how much can Faze step on the gas and play at that pace, because I know that every single player on that team is capable of playing at not only a high level but also very, very quickly. And also what's aBeZy's story going to be here in terms of like finding routes? Because if he's getting loose on the map, absolutely dangerous. Like he becomes a huge problem to deal with, especially in like one, getting rotations, but also two, just being behind you all the time in S&D. He'll be somewhere and he'll probably win his first blood. So like it's going to come down to who's hot, honestly. This isn't.
Yeah, you need it. Envoy, again, in that same interview, said it, which is the entire Thieves team is playing with so much confidence. And you need aBeZy, you need Simp to Cellium, you know he's going to be fucking just there, right? You need aBeZy and you need Simp to fucking find some confidence. If they can get going a little bit early, that can obviously completely shift the way the narrative of this match. We've had a different winner for every single major throughout the season.
And one of them is not Atlanta.
I'm inclined to think and one of them is not in the lineup phase. I'm inclined to believe this might be, a time to pivot. When everyone thinks Thieves, I would love to see this Faze team win it.
I think, listen,
we might be overthinking it, just hoping. We might be overthinking it. This might just be written in the stars that Thieves, they're playing the best COD at the right time of the year, and it feels like a no-brainer.
I've got this hinging on just something crazy happening. I don't really know what it is, and I can't, it's going to be some sort of 1v3 or 1v4 in Search and Destroy, or some crazy control finish that just sucks all the momentum out of one of the teams. And that's when you're going to know who won it. There's going to be a defining moment somewhere in here, and a highlight reel play that gets just written into the history books. But we got to find out what that is at some point. I would be excited to see someone 1v4 an S&D round and just ice a fucking map or something like that. But I can't predict the future that much. I've done enough thus far this season in both Call of Duty and League, but I don't have this one in my docket. Now, with that being said, I also agree with you. I think at the value that it's at, Atlanta Faze being underdogs is a very interesting thing to look at and also probably bet on. But you're right. We could just be overthinking it. Thieves is playing very good Call of Duty. They're playing at their all-time high confidence. It's interesting because, they came from lower last time, right? Against Subliners? Dude, I don't entirely know. This is... For me, for Faze, this is going to have to be a heavy lean on S&D. And how much you're able to really zap momentum back in your favor after losing a hard point or something like that.
So what's the breakdown? There's a possible 9 matches total. How does it break down? It's is it
hard point S&D control, hard point S&D control. I forget the breakdown. Just give me a second. You can let me know your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I think the big point which we're getting at is, I don't know. I'm keen to hear your predictions. I think some fun things to think through is the over unders on map 1, right? So right now the handicap is Thieves minus 22.5. So they're thinking that they're going to easily win the first hardpoint, which right now you can get Faze as a moneyline map 1 winner at 2.38. I think that's if Faze is going to win this, they have to kind of come out and win that first hardpoint. And you can have over under for point totals at 433.5. Now, obviously, the total maximum amount of points is 500, or I guess 499. So I think that could be interesting to go over there. I think you're going to get a close map 1. As well, map 2, you got S&D. Again, Faze is the underdog at 1.94. A match handicap of plus 1.5 for Faze at 1.57. I think is, very easy. The over-under there, though, is a 9.5. So basically, do you think this is going to go to 10 or 11 maps? I think unquestionably it's going to be a 6-5 or a 6-4. So I think that would be quite an easy one to call. So I love the over for 9.5 at 1.98. Map 3 control, I think you'd be foolish right now to bet against Faze, or to bet against Thieves. So I would you can get Thieves at 1.6. That feels like free money to me. You can even do a match handicap at minus 1.5 at 2.40. So I quite like that. And then kind of, as you can imagine, it keeps rolling. So we have a lot of ways to bet this.
For me, I don't know. It's so swingy. You just have to know who's hot and catch the momentum. There are so many maps in here, and it's gonna be it's a Call of Duty today. So, you could put them out there early, get good odds on things. But end of the day, if it comes out in 6-0s, I'm going to expect them to carry a little bit of momentum into hard point, probably close down whatever handicap gap there is, if not win that map. And you also got to know like team strength maps and modes, stuff like that, because Thieves very good on Gavutu, also very good on Berlin control. Pretty dangerous team across the board. Their pool feels pretty wide right now too, which is kind of the biggest problem I think Faze faced. But they're still Faze, man. Like, it's so difficult to see them losing this end. Like, it would pain me to see that, honestly. So hardpoint S&D control.
All right, I think it's time. Sorry, what is it?
Hardpoint S&D control. Hardpoint S&D, I think. Yeah, something like that. There's like 4 hardpoints, 4 S&D, or like I think it's 4 hardpoint, 3 S&D, 2 control. Is the way it's split.
Got it.
But there's always an S&D last map. I can't exactly
remember. All right, make your prediction. I think it goes hardpoint control S&D, or hardpoint S&D control, hardpoint control S&D control, and then hardpoint S&D, or then S&D hardpoint S&D. I think that's they like to have S&D as being the map 9.
I've got Atlanta Faze 5-4.
So I think you're right. It's 2 controls, 3 and 4.
That's my prediction. Atlanta Faze 5-4. I think we get week 9 here, and I think they repeat, to be honest. Like, I don't know, man. There's something feels like, Cellium woke up on the right side of the bed this morning, and Simp and aBeZy are about to get. They just need it. Like, there's.
It's not about Cellium, though.
There's nothing.
It's not about Cellium. Cellium's
That's
gonna
not the
be
problem.
there. You need aBeZy and Simp. You need Simp and aBeZy to wake up on the right side of the bed.
You gotta understand here, though, that like for them at this point, there is something on the line. Sure, like Call of Duty Championship, but there's also nothing on the line. Like I've been here so many fucking times. It's at some point you have to do something, and they know that more than anyone. I don't even think the pressure's on them though. Like they have been the most consistent team all year. It feels like in some regard.
But they haven't won anything.
But it feels like in some regard the pressure is on Thieves to prove that like, yeah, we're playing confident for a good reason. Like we are the best team in the league, instead of like we're just overconfident and we just won a major and we're just carrying that over. Like this is now where that is proven. I feel like and there's only 1 or 2 teams that they could go up against that would validate that for me. And Faze, it would be Faze or OpTic if OpTic were in this final. So we'll see.
This feels like a 5-3 Thieves.
You've really just gone back and forth through all your bases.
I'm picking 5-3 Thieves.
Listen, I would love to see Thieves win a championship. I would also love to see Faze.
Yeah. No, but I'm laying out both sides of the argument, but I am giving you my one pick. My one pick. You're either going to see a 5-3 or a 5-2. I think you're going to get Thieves just laying the woodwork.
I would love to see Faze
team's playing the best.
Play villain here, and
by the way, I don't even want the Thieves to win. I want Faze to win this.
When you don't like Thieves,
I do not want.
You haven't liked them all year.
I just don't like it.
But I mean, like that's fine.
And I'm not gonna start liking them.
But boys are out.
When it comes to betting, I want to win money, and so I got Thieves by at least a -1.5, maybe a -2.5 if those odds
disagree that that's probably logical, but for some reason this has 9 maps, Grueler, round 11. Somebody just clutches a crazy 1v2 written all over it. Something like that is just, I feel like it's coming. And also just a great set of teams for it to happen with. Like, I'm not going to lie, it would have been great from Surge to be in a final, but it would have been much less entertaining, to be honest. And I think like a lot of people tune in.
Totally. No, this is the match we deserve. Yeah, this is the map we want. This is the game we want.
It's crazy. I mean, Thieves have turned it around to this point.
All right.
Well, proud of them. So we'll see if they can actually seal the deal. With that being said, thank you for listening to another episode of Money Hill. We will be back recapping everything that happened at Champs and what we predict going into next season, things like that. I do need to watch the trailer for Modern Warfare 2 to really understand what the game that we're looking at is. I think it'll be similar to Modern Warfare 2018, so that's discouraging. You can go follow us on Twitter at BO3 Network and join our Discord, which should be in our bio on Twitter and also in the description below. Follow us on Twitter if you want to, if you feel the need to. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment, like the video, turn those notifications on, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're an audio listener, we are on YouTube, so if you want to see our pretty faces, go ahead and check it out over there. That is really, I think, all I have to say, all the shilling I need to do at the end of this episode. So thank you again for listening to another episode of Money Hill. We'll be back next week, talk about this exact result here and see really what was right at the end of the day and who's your Call of Duty championship. I'm excited, man.
And hopefully Nikki can join us.
Yeah, he should
Can't
be
wait
able
to hear his. Can't wait to hear his feedback and thoughts on it.
He's been at Thieves Maxi all season, so it's good on him.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't wait for him.
Peace out.
Toodaloo.